Hi everyone, Lies Helsloot here, two-time published author, health coach and influencer from Belgium. I'm the author of the Belgian book, Walk Yourself Thin and Happy. Will soon be translated to English so you can all have a piece of my ideas about walking and taking more steps to improve your lifestyle to get healthy, fit and reach your natural weight. So today I would like to talk about the 75% rule. The 75% rule is something I've been writing about in my book, and it's also a part of my method, Walking for Natural Weight Freedom, which is also the name of the Facebook group I'm hosting on the subject. And it's all about walking and taking more steps throughout the day, but also about healthy eating, good food, about exercise, about mindset exercises, and so much more. I also talk about herbs and supplements you can take for optimal health. But in my book, I mainly focus on walking and taking more steps. But there's one chapter that talks about how to eat for natural weight or to reach your natural weight. And today I would like to talk about one of my golden principles, which is called the 75% rule. And as with many things in life, the motto is in this rule about less is more. And when we make healthy choices for our health, we often choose less of something, but more health and more well-being, more happiness and energy. It's also in business when we want to reach optimal goals, when we sometimes have to say no to some stuff in order to say yes to success in business. And it's the same with food, and it's also something I talk about with my clients every time, that sometimes we have to say no to some things and say yes to the good things in order to become healthy, fit and slim. Now, we usually approach this only as something less, and we feel the word less is about a lack of something good. And that makes us feel bad. And that's what I often see with other people, with my clients, that they say like, if I say no to something, it feels like I have a lack of something. And it makes them feel bad because at that time we hear that little voice in our head that is about like, hey, if you say no to me, I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm just like that, because if someone says to me, you can't do this or you can't eat that, I have cravings. I have cravings to eat whatever I want, because that's the moment when that little voice in my head says, well, I really, really, really want to say yes to that, because if you say no to me, I just want to be a bad girl. And that's all that also happens with food. And it also happens when someone says, don't go over there, don't open that door. When you're a kid and your mom said, don't open the door, what are you going to do? You're going to open the door. So it's exactly the same with saying no to certain types of food. But what if you started saying no to some things as a positive thing, like namely getting more of the good stuff and more of the stuff that takes us to a healthy and fit body and a sense of well-being and to have more energy. Because if we say no to some things, we say yes to all the good stuff. And the good stuff, like having more energy and feeling good in our bodies, will also help us thrive in life, in business, in relationships, and in our dreams and achieving all our dreams and goals. So saying yes and saying yes to less of some stuff is something that you can also learn to approach in a positive way. And that's what I'm trying to talk about today here. Now, saying no to some things like unhealthy food choices, like sitting in the couch all day and binge watching Netflix. And for example, also saying no to some people and even to some opportunities that come your way, but that keep you from focusing on what you really want to achieve in business or life. Those are all ways of saying no, but saying no can feel like a real liberation. It gives you the opportunity in that moment to say yes wholeheartedly to everything that is good for you. So it's actually saying yes to the good stuff. So try to focus on the positive side of saying no. It's not about less, it's about more of the good stuff. And in my book, in the chapter that I translate in English to Eating to Your Natural Weight, it will soon be translated to English, so don't worry, it's coming its way to you if you can't read Dutch. But I describe my golden rule that you can use to better your food choices as well. And of course, what I write in the book is only a fraction of my entire method. My method is founded on walking and taking more steps, but it's also a new approach, or my approach towards nutrition. And eating for me is purely about enjoying delicious food flavors and feeling like I'm giving my body something that will make it healthy and keep it healthy in the long run. And that's what I want, because I have so many goals and dreams that I really don't want to say no to things that are coming my way, because if good things are coming towards me, I want to be able to say, yes, I do have the energy to do that because I take care of myself. So eating for me is about delicious flavors and good food, and it also includes nice crispy chips, a glass of wine, chocolate and pralines, Belgian chocolates, a cookie now and then, because I hate to deny myself anything. And if you tell me that something is not allowed, then that bad girl is coming out of my head, and she's going to say like, no, I don't want you to say no to me because I want that cookie. And it's perfectly fine to want all those things as well. And that's a really good thing, because I've learned to enjoy the good things in life, or the tasty stuff, or the not healthy stuff in life. And it's perfectly all right, because if you eat it in moderation, you don't have a problem eating a cookie or chocolate or have a glass of wine with some crisps or some French fries. So no problem with that. You can perfectly have that. But I noticed that approaching this in a positive way, like I can have all those things, and I just say no to some other things, because saying yes to other things makes me better, feels like different. And I also don't deny myself stuff, because I say yes to a cookie and to chocolate and to that glass of wine. And it feels so much better that I can say yes, because I am in charge of my own decisions. Now, what I do have seen in my method and working with clients is that if you also change the way you eat, like on most days, if you start eating using food combining, proper food combining, so dissociated food combining, not combining certain foods in one meal, and also making healthier food choices that really satisfy you, then you don't have that urge to eat like a full pack of crisps or like 20 cookies or 2 bottles of wine, because your body starts reacting differently to all the things you are eating. So that's one of the secrets in my method, is if you use my method, then you will start to see that you don't need that overload of cookies or crisps. You will start saying no automatically towards those things. And that's exactly what I describe in my book. Now, I usually have to check a little bit what I'm going to talk about, because I can talk for hours about these subjects. So one of the things I would also like to stress here today is that when you follow the principles of food combining, you don't really have to pay attention to how much is on your plate. So that's a good thing. You can eat whatever you want. You can eat how much you want. But if you properly combine your food choices on your plate, you don't have to think about portion size. But what I do recommend is that in meals where you eat stuff that isn't properly combined, that you do watch over the 75% rule. So, and then I mean that if you pile your plate, for example, with some pasta bolognese, which is one of my favorite dishes. And when I eat pasta bolognese, spaghetti bolognese, I eat the real stuff. I eat white pasta and I eat the real sauce, the whole shebang with the cheese and everything on it, and a good glass of red wine. But when I eat things like that, I follow my rule of 75%. So I don't pile my plate as big as I used to do, because 75% is plenty for me. And also because of the fact that I eat differently on most other days in the week, I feel satisfied much faster than I used to be. So I don't have that urge to go for a second or third serving, because I get full so fast. I'm like, this was a really good meal. I really enjoyed it, but I've had enough. I don't need a second serving. I'm totally satisfied. I am so happy that I had this wonderful plate of white pasta and bolognese sauce, and I really enjoyed it. And please don't feel guilty if you do so. But just keep in mind that if you eat well on most days of the week, and then keep the 75% rule in mind on other meals, then you will never struggle with portion size. You will never feel guilty again, because you will keep your weight on a healthy level, and you will feel happy whatever you are eating. Just believe me, it works. Now, if I talk a little bit about food combining, I have seen, and researchers have seen, that if you combine all sorts of food in one meal, like proteins, carbohydrates, on your plate, then you get digestive problems. So digestive problems, inflammation process, etc. So you don't feel well. You get acid reflux when combining stuff, and also you see the difference on the scale. But what I also have to address today is that even still, we are eating way too much of the wrong kinds of foods. So way too much of protein and carbohydrates, or the wrong carbohydrates. And then I'm talking portion-wise. I'm not talking about the fact that you can't eat proteins and carbohydrates. It's about portion size, because we eat way too much of this stuff and less of the good stuff, like vegetables and fruits and healthy stuff, and especially living food, as I call it. Especially the thing with proteins is that because we have been overeating protein during all those crazy protein diets, we see the things we actually don't want in our body. Because if we eat too much protein, we start aging faster. So you start aging, your body ages faster than before. You get you might have health problems like cancer, acidification in the body, inflammation processes flaring up in your body, and that's not at all what you want. And also digestive problems. I see so many clients who have been on protein diets for quite a long time, and yes, they lose a lot of weight with that, but they get digestive problems. Their microbiome is totally out of whack, and because of the microbiome being out of whack and out of balance, they start having weight issues. And that's exactly what I want to address with my method of proper food combining, making the right food choices, the 75% rule on your plate when you are making a choice for something of the good stuff, of the white pasta and the white bread and all the things you would like to have on a typical Sunday. But one of the things I have seen is that eating too much of the wrong carbohydrates and too much protein, which is a big problem nowadays, is causing actually the counter effect of what you want, and that's weight loss and being healthy in the long term. And that's the most important thing in my method. That's working on health in the long term and not just focusing on weight loss, because weight loss is one thing, and weight loss with protein diets, super easy. You will lose weight fast, but you will create other problems, as I just mentioned, which are way worse than the extra weight you have been carrying around. So it's important to make the good choices. Now, what do I pile on my plate? I try to focus, tend to focus on living food, fresh fruits, vegetables, healthy protein, healthy carbohydrates, but all in moderation for the last two, for protein and carbohydrates. And I also always watch over food combination. So I will never combine proteins with carbohydrates on most days of the week, but on the days that I like to enjoy to combine everything together, I really enjoy it. And really, the most important thing today maybe might be to get a big eraser, like a mental eraser, to erase all feelings of guilt in your mind, because it's such a waste of time. Guilt feelings are so unnecessary. They are a waste of your time and energy. So please erase all feelings of guilt from your mind and from your heart, because they also cause stress. And we all know by now that stress also causes weight gain and health problems. And that's not at all what we want. So please erase the word guilt and sin from your vocabulary, from your heart, and from your mind. And focus on the good things. Focus on proper food combining and focus on the 75% rule if you're enjoying delicious foods like pasta bolognese, like a piece of cake, like crisps, like a glass of wine, like a good cake on your birthday or on a special occasion, but then follow the 75% rule and don't overeat. And if you follow my method, and if you follow the method of food combining and eating more living food, you will easily follow the 75% rule, because it will become something organically, something that you decide just like that. You don't even have to think about it anymore. You don't have to be focused on portion size or thinking about food all the time. It will come automatically, and you will automatically change the way you approach food. You will make better choices. You will say no to certain things, but in order to say yes to the good things, and that's living a long and healthy life, having a healthy natural weight. And that's what I would like you to understand in this video. And I want to ask you, what are you waiting for? Good health and a healthy natural weight can also be yours, and it is more simple than you think. It is simple. You can do something about it, but don't wait, because you are worth it. You are worth to say yes to yourself. You have to love yourself and say yes to the good things and take care of yourself. So thank you for listening today. This was a session hosted in my Facebook group, Natural Weight Freedom. My name is Lies Helsloot. I'm a health coach and influencer from Belgium, specialized in the power of walking and taking more steps in order to thrive in health and business and in your life, reaching your goals. I'm also the author of currently a new book in Belgium, Walk Yourself Thin and Happy. So it's only available in Dutch for the moment, but it's coming soon in English, so you can all enjoy my book about the power of walking and taking more steps. And I hope to keep you informed in this channel on other things I work around in my method, because my method is more than just walking and taking more steps. It's so much more than that. And I just enjoy working with people. I enjoy helping people living a healthy life and enjoying life. And I want to get that big smile on your face, because that's the most important thing in my method. It's the person behind the weight. And the person behind the weight is the most important thing for me. So enjoy life, and thank you for listening to this video. I'm going to wait a little bit longer, because I usually know there are some questions. So if you're watching, you can ask your question here. You have to grant StreamYard access to your Facebook account, so I can see your name on the screen. So if you have a question, you can still ask the question. And if you popped out of this video, you can always send me an email on my website, takeyoutime.com, or you can comment on my Facebook page, Take You Time Blog, or on Instagram, same name, Take You Time Blog. So I can help you reach your optimal health. So thank you for listening today to this session on the 75% rule, which is a part of my method, Walk Yourself Thin and Happy, and walking for natural weight freedom. Thank you for listening and or watching. Have a great day. Lies Helsloot from Belgium. Bye.